Patrick, I appreciate you making some time for us this morning. There's a lot of baseball stuff I want to get into, but how does a kid in San Jose, California wind up in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
First of all, thank y'all for having me. But yeah, no, I just wanted to play in the SEC. I mean, that's kind of always been one of my dreams. Like watching college baseball growing up, just seeing the competition, just seeing the level of play. Thankfully, Les Johnson saw me, and he's one of the reasons I came to Arkansas.
Yeah, coach now up there with the Twins, and you think about the track record of success, Patrick, that Arkansas has had, and really since you've been on campus, what's it been like to pitch with guys like, and I think Blaine left right before you got there, but you think about Blaine Knight, you think about Isaiah Campbell, your teammate Kevin Kopps, just what's gone on in those pitching coaching sessions. How much better of a pitcher have you upgraded yourself just by the competition that you know you got to face every single practice?
It's been tremendous, actually. Just kind of like my freshman year, learning from Isaiah. Whenever Blaine Knight comes back, like I'll kind of see him around, and just kind of seeing what Kevin's doing, just kind of learning from him. And what's the really cool part is just like seeing what Kevin's been through the past 2.5, 3 years since I've been here, and just learning from one another, like talking pitches, talking approaches to hitters, and just breaking down everything with one another. It's definitely helped me out tremendously.
Let's talk about Kevin for a second. We're talking with Patrick Wicklander, Razorback pitcher on the Morning Rush. So Kevin initially started out as kind of the relief guy, and then it's just supplanted himself as y'all's closer. And one of the things that MLB scouts and analysts are so infatuated with Kevin's game is his spin rate. And one of the things that Matt Hobbs told one of the guys we're doing the show with this morning, Clay Henry, is that you're going to have to write something about Kevin. Patrick, how much have you seen Kevin's game and his pitching evolve in the past couple months to be where it is as dominant as it is today?
From stepping foot on campus this fall to now, it's been incredible. Obviously, last year wasn't the year he wanted to have, but COVID happened, and I know Kevin took a lot of time to himself, and he really found who he is as a pitcher. And just seeing him dominate the way he is right now, especially in the SEC, that this is something that doesn't come every year. Yeah. What Kevin Kopps is doing is incredible, and it's really fun to watch. And just seeing him do it, and just knowing the guy he is, I'm really happy for him.
Patrick Wicklander here with us on the Morning Rush. Arkansas's Friday night, this week Thursday night starter, presume. Well, you mentioned that the COVID year and last season being shortened. Walk us through from your perspective, what that was like, how Coach Van Horn kept the team together as much as you could while still following all the protocols, and how you kept your game sharp throughout the last season that led to the kind of year you're having this year.
So obviously, season shut down, I think middle, late March. I'm not 100% sure the exact time it shut down. I know it was in March. But a lot of us just kind of stayed, local. We'd find parks. We'd find just areas to throw. We'd find out ways to work out. We weren't allowed at the field, obviously, for COVID reasons. So instead of going back home to California, my parents just told me to stay out here. So a bunch of us just stay out here through, and that's all we could really do, just find ways to make it happen.
Yeah. Tell us about Matt Hobbs and his process. What's it been like working under him and all the new analytics and all the spin rate and all the things that now go into developing a pitcher? Give us some insight, Patrick, on working with Matt Hobbs and the development he's helped you with.
Coach Hobbs really helped me a lot since he came on campus. When we first stepped foot, him and I built that relationship right there. It's been nothing but great. And just working with him, he takes everything you do, everything that you do to the ball, and helps you understand how it could help you in game. if that made any sense. He'll help you like learn how you manipulate the ball and just add it to your approach, the way you pitch. And it's really helped me out understanding my fastball and my breaking stuff, just to be able to take my game to the next level.
How has the technology and the TrackMan and all of these things that have been introduced to baseball really front and center the last 5 years, how has that helped develop not just you but pitchers across the staff and really across the SECs where you prominently see it? How has that technology changed the way you train?
This is learning how so we use a camera called the Edgertronic camera. It shoots a lot of frames per second. So you're able to see it in slow motion, how the ball comes out of your hand, wrist position, hand position. So seeing that during bullpens will help us. It helps us learn, like, hey, why did the pitch do this or why did it do that? With TrackMan, it's like in-game, like, hey, this is where it was, like how much it's spun, this is where it was, plate side. And then for Rapsodo, I mean, we have it going during our bullpens, and it gives us instant feedback on like spin rate, vertical approach, and all that. And just seeing it's helped out a lot of guys tremendously because it helps a lot of guys understand who they are as a pitcher. Mm-hmm. And it's really good for a mental standpoint, confidence standpoint for a lot of guys too.
Yeah. So other than velocity, is it spin rate? What's the number you're looking at the monitor going, ooh, yeah, I like that number. Other than velo, what's the number you pitchers pay more attention to?
Each guy's a little different. Other than velo, I mean, personally, I'm looking at like induced vertical break and like spin efficiency.
Yeah, that went right over my head.
So basically, spin efficiency, like if it's higher, it means you're backswinging the ball a lot, and it usually leads to induced vertical break, which helps, which causes less, like gravity doesn't take as much effect on the ball, so it kind of creates that rise effect. So when you hear guys say like, "Oh, the ball's rising," that's what induced vertical break is.
Patrick Wicklander with us here on the Morning Rush. Razorback starting you Thursday or Friday, hopefully Thursday this week. Patrick, you had kind of some stuff that you've gone through the past year. My dad has diabetes like yourself, and you were diagnosed with type 1. I know you lost some weight. There was a good piece in Whole Hog Sports just kind of about what you're going through. How did that diagnosis affect you as a D1 athlete, and how have you had to combat that to a certain extent?
So, being a type 1 diabetic, just learning about it, well, it's right in my family, so I've seen it firsthand all my life. So it wasn't a whole lot to learn, but just being a D1 athlete is just another thing to focus on, other than like lifting and stuff like that. It's like, hey, you gotta watch your glucose, your blood sugar. Make sure you're not too high, make sure you're not too low. It just kind of enhanced my focus, but just kind of becoming a type 1 diabetic, I mean, it's kind of been a blessing in disguise, in all honesty.
How does beet juice work on the diabetic diet? Can you have the beet juice? Have you tried that yet, like your man Cops?
I've taken a sip of it. Personally, I'm not a fan of beet juice, but hey, I'm going to let Kevin do what Kevin does.
It seems to be working.
Whatever works. So you brought up your family, Patrick, and I know your dad is, I think he listens to the program. I'd be shocked if he wasn't listening right now remotely, probably on Facebook or YouTube. But just kind of your family, your mom, Beth, your dad, Howard, what have they meant to you, and especially going through that, going through the COVID stuff that you guys have had to kind of trek through this past year and a half or so? How staunch, how important has your family dynamic been going through all of this?
I would say COVID made us closer. I'm sure both my parents could attest to that too. Because of not being able to get out and do a whole lot, whenever I could, I called either my mom or my dad to kind of see what's going on. Because I spent most of the COVID lockdown out here in Arkansas, because the rules out here are a lot, like, they aren't as tight as they are in California. But they meant a lot, especially going through this whole process. me becoming a diabetic and just like all throughout my years in college. Like they've helped me out through a lot.
Well, your dad just messaged us on Facebook that he's listening this morning. I'm sure him and your mom, Miss Beth, are very proud of you. And Patrick, we really appreciate your time this morning. Best of luck against Florida, this upcoming SEC tournament. We're really excited to see you guys progress throughout the postseason, okay?
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me.